Well, it's finally here, the official end of the flat season. Yes, we've got another 3 weeks until the curtain comes down, the November handicap, but it is Champions Day when champions are crowned. And Jason, what a card we've got. Champions are to the fore.
They certainly are. It's great that the Appleby team have decided to turn up with Adayar. Now, when he managed to beat Mishriff last time, he was in receipt of £11. As that weight for age scale works its way through the season, it's now down to £4, and we're racing over a different distance. You've got the jockeys going head to head. Their championship finishes on Saturday. Why on earth the trainers does not, I have no idea, but they go on through until December the 31st. So make of that what you will. But this is the weekend when it will be decided, both the jockeys and the trainers championship, because there is just a mammoth amount of money on offer. It's a great day.
It certainly is. And for the first time in about 5 years, we're going to have a fairly decent ground on the easy side of good, but times have almost been abandoned in the last few years, and it's been real desperate ground, but everything seems set fair.
Yeah, it looks as if we're going to get decent ground. It's the 10th year anniversary since it was moved. You'll obviously remember the Champion Stakes being run just down the road here, over the 1.25 miles on the Rolling Mile. Then there was the big change and the Future Champions Day and everything, and the qualms going on regarding the ground. Well, it looks as if we've been looked down upon from above, and weather looks set fair. Perfect racing conditions. There should be no excuses unless you want it bottomless, and unless you want it rock hard. There can be no excuses, no hiding places. All down to the trainers that have prepped them, and all down to the boys going on top, how they handle the pressure cooker.
Well, it certainly is. This is the biggest pressure cooker of them all, isn't it? Like you say, mammoth amounts of prize money. Let's get stuck into it. Then we start with a long distance cup at 125. We talk about the ground. Obviously, Trushan won this in a bog 12 months ago. He's slightly better. And there's a slight worry that him, Stradivarius and Princess Zoe may have left a bit of their races behind at Longshot just a fortnight ago. What was a grueling Prix de Cadran?
Yeah, I think that Alan King has said as much. He'd like another week, but that's what he hasn't got. He looked really good at Goodwood. Of course, Stradivarius didn't turn up there, and then the Prix de Cadran win was pretty solid indeed. Holly Doyle gets back on board. With him, the ground should be fine. We get a lot of dew now at the moment, don't we? So it's not that moisture is not evaporating off the track in the early parts of the morning. It keeps that little bit of moisture in it, and it should be absolutely fine. But they're not his ideal conditions. They're better for Stradivarius, but will they allow him to show that electric change of gear? Will they really, really suit him, if you like? I'm just itchy-peachy between those. Princess Zoe, remarkable story, all the improvement that she's gone through. The same with Baron Samedi at the top. I mean, you're bringing in the international form. We won a Grade 2 Belmont Gold Cup, remarkably, and they now reach for the headgear. But if you work your way down through them, it looks a matchup, doesn't it, between those two horses that we've concentrated on. However, Hamish, he was favourite for the Ebor. The rain didn't arrive in time. He went to Kempton. He managed to beat Hookham on that occasion. He's always looked like a stayer. If there is a horse who's not at his ceiling rating at the moment, possesses enough speed to beat Hookham, that means that he's quick enough to take care of a Stradivarius, and he's not completely, doesn't need it like a bog, but these ground conditions should be absolutely ideal as far as he is concerned. So I think there's going to be a little bit of an upset. Dettori's going to be playing cat and mouse. Holly's going to have to keep Trushan settled in the early stages. So wherever she lands, you have to sit and suffer. You can't change your position. Hamish looks like he can be produced or put anywhere in his races. He goes up in trip. He's unexposed. I think we'll have an upset in the opener.
Yeah, I agree. I like the claims of Hamish as well. 9 runners William Haggis has got on the card. This one will probably mean more than most. Owned and bred, of course, by his dad, Brian. So, yeah, Hamish for me as well in the long distance. Could we go from the stayers to the sprinters as well? The shortest race on the card at 2 o'clock, the sprint stakes. Won last year by Glenn Shiel for Archie Watson. He's probably got a better chance with his stablemate, though, this time around in the Dragon Symbol, who meets Rohan again. They've met plenty of times this year. And Tim Easterby, what a year he is at. He's already won a Nunthorpe with Winter Power. And here, he's got last year's 4th Art Power.
Yeah, it's got to be a flip of a coin, hasn't it, between so many at the top of the market. Art Power, 5-length win at the Curragh. You've got to ask yourself, admittedly, he came down a notch to win over there. David Allen was on board. Sylvester's just not clicked with him, has he? I don't know why. He's a brilliant rider. We know how good he is. How is he going to act with Sylvester back on up over the 6 furlongs? He's drawn in a high number stall. Glenn Shield, disappointed in the Bengoff. That was an absolute penalty kick, wasn't it? He put it up in row Z, didn't he? Way over the bar for me on that occasion. And I keep going down. Kinross back in trip. Creative Force ran a cracker up at Haydock behind Eberartiana. The same can be said. The forgotten horse in here is probably Happy Romance, who was only a length behind Eberartiana up at Haydock. So that sort of brings her into the equation. However, for me, Dragon Symbol has been so unlucky, hasn't he? All year, everything has gone against him for when he got thrown out. And then he's not had his ideal conditions. He was absolutely chinned early on at Haydock as well in his preparation. I just feel that these conditions are going to be perfect for him. It's so nip and tuck regarding the jockeys. Oisin Murphy, he's retained all his faith in him. I think he's the one. Dragon Symbol, if there's a horse this year that deserves a change of luck, it's definitely him.
Yeah, he's on a busy. He's only made his debut in March. It's been an incredible rise for Dragon Symbol in his 4th Group 1. You're right, he does deserve a change of luck, of course, thrown out in the shoes room from the Commonwealth Cup. Right, move on to another Group 1 then. This one for the fillies and mares, the Fairer Sex at 2:35, over a mile and a half. And Snowfall, been rerouted. There was talk she was going to the Champion Stakes. There's no love at this year's meeting, so Snowfall been rerouted to the fillies and mares. And with the greatest respect to the rest of the field, Jason, I think she deserves, she needs to be in this race. Otherwise, it falls a little bit short of the standard we expect on Champions Day.
Absolutely. They have to have so many horses rated of a certain level for races to keep their Group 1 status. Admittedly, they managed to have Wonderful Tonight, who won it last year on a mark of 115. Well, if you take out Snowfall, who's 120, the rest of them, the top rated is 110, and we're all the way down. Admittedly, they're all in triple digits, but it's not up to Group 1 standard over a mile and a half. Now, she finished about 4 3/4 lengths behind in the arc. Probably didn't have an ideal run. We all still latch onto that 16-length win in the Oaks itself, but she's head and shoulders the best in here. I mean, you're looking for something. Possibly Eshada could be better than she showed last time, but she walked home when we last saw her. And Alba Flora has not reproduced her reappearance performance when she won here in listed company. That was good enough to reach her up to 113. She's not produced it since. She's come back down again. She sits here on a mark of 110. Snowfall, although she probably didn't run up to her best last time, it's still by far and away the best. Let's hope she turns up, because you're right. This is definitely a race without her that is lacking a star. At least she would be a fitting winner.
Yeah, and since the banker on the card as well, you would imagine. Talking about a race that is certainly up to standard. It's a race for the ages for me, the QE2 over a mile. 10 declared, 8 Group 1 winners. It's an absolute belter.
Wow. When you talk about Globetrotters, Lord Glitters had a brilliant start to the campaign over in Dubai again. Ben Battle has been absolutely everywhere. Last year's winner, the Revenant, we know that he wants it absolutely bottomless, so they'll be hoping for more rain to fall to come down. Lady Bowthorpe, I argue that she's put up her best performance here on the round course, though, and she'll definitely be underestimated and could easily be making a little bit of inroads into the likes of a Palace Pier and Baid. Now, Baid reportedly, before his Moulin win, didn't have a clean preparation. That's what William Haggis has gone on record as saying. So he feels that he's better than that performance, but he would need to be, because the form is not as strong. There is £1 between them, I think. No, sorry, £4 between them on official ratings at the moment. Alcohol free, Fred Darling, Coronation, Sussex Stakes. Oh my word, Mother Earth, 1,000 guineas. This is an absolute belter. I'm a big fan of Palace Pier, but I have to say, sometimes your mind is, or your eye is really drawn to horses. Now, Master of the Seas was as big as me in the prelims for his return in the Joel at Newmarket. He's got form with Poetic Flair that ties him in perfectly with Palace Pier, strictly at the prices, and he will, trust me, take a significant step forward from the beating at the hands of Ben Battle last time. Charlie Appleby has absolutely prepped him to a nicety. I thought I wouldn't be able to look away from Palace Pier, but this is his opportunity to strike up at the top level. He's been trained so well for this particular contest by Charlie.
Interesting. Master of the Season, yeah, so unlucky in the 2,000 guineas, and obviously come on for his run in the Joel. William didn't quite know which way to go, which side of Ben Battle was it, which way he went, and he lost no casting defeat for finishing third there. It was a decent effort. So Master of the Seas for Jason, and I'm guessing we might be sticking with the boys in blue. You have done all season with a Dayar in the Champion Stakes. I mean, we said the QE2 is a belter. This is just, it's worthy of its name, isn't it? The Champion Stakes. There's loads of champions in here.
Yeah, brilliant. What a race, and how they're going to be ridden as well. You know, if anybody doesn't turn up and they run £3 or £4 below their best, a Dave will take advantage because he's the solid Group 1 performer. He turns up day in and day out. LRC, tricky, will be ridden cold, needs cover, not been given a great ride on a few occasions, definitely going to be ridden different. Yukon Glen, not good enough, trying to pick up the pieces late in the day. Mishriff, don't think David Egan was at his best. No reason to give him 3 smacks around the backside when going clear for demolishing the field in the International. And he rates an obvious player, Dayar. What a run in the Arc. He was set 2 big questions. At the top of the hill, Chronogenesis was going to come over. Buick asked him to go forward, so he's quickened once at the top of the hill. He then makes the run-in. Shouldn't have. He should have dropped in. Comes into the bottom of the straight, gives him another kick with 2.5 to run. Goes away from the field, falls in a hole. It was a massive performance. For him to have recovered is great, but he's come through all the trials really, really well. Bolshoi Ballet, we thought he was the Derby winner, didn't we? After the Derrinstown, when he won by 6 lengths, that's it. Well, Derby's all over. He's gone over and managed to win a little contest over in America, and then he's got beaten out of sight the last twice. Dubai Honor is thriving, off 2 Group 2 victories. Max Sweeney probably needs an extreme. He's the Verton winner and the Irish 2,000 guineas. And Cedarway is definitely the forgotten horse down the bottom. I have no idea what sort of price he is. And if anybody's looking for an each-way runner, his form ties in closely with Adayar. And remember, he chased on St. Mark's Basilica, or got close to him in the French Derby. It's a brilliant matchup all the way through. But Adayar, he just gets £4 from Mishriff. He'll relish the 1.25 miles. I don't think he's slow. He's going to be powering up the straight at Ascot. I hope he gets a lead as well. Just let somebody go. You haven't got to make the running. Drop him in. Ride him like a good horse. And let's hope we see a champion. He's added the real spice to what is a brilliant race.
Yeah, so it's an absolute cracking. You sell it beautifully as well. And it could be, I mean, lots of water on the bridge. It could be the one that gives William Buick the title. What a story that would be.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it? You know, when the boys have look, there's only 1 meeting a day that they do now, but these boys have absolutely put themselves out there. You know, they're getting off the bench every time they possibly can. Their agents have worked incredibly hard. When it was 9 a week ago, everybody was telling me it's all over, forget about it. I said, trust me, the way these boys operate, it's not beyond the realms that they can ride 3 winners, 4 winners, 9 winners in a couple of days. It's not a problem for these lads, especially with the backing that they have got. Now it's the time to test your mettle and how you react under that pressure. Dragon Cymbaloo, we talked about earlier on the card, could be massive. Alcohol free, obviously, is a big ride. Buick has got some good spins, probably none better than Adayar.
We are there, the Champion Stakes. And we end with a real competitive handicap as well, which is always nice. A bit of something for everybody. It is the Balmoral handicap, £200,000 in win and place prize money. I mean, obviously always competitive, these Ascot handicaps. Lots of regulars in here as well. But is there potential blot just sneaking in under the bottom, under the radar? Frankie Dettori, John and Thursday Gosden in the Juddmonte Silks.
Yeah, this is going to be backed off the boards. Make no mistake, all the people there, they love Frankie Dettori. He's going to be a false price. So he will be very, very strongly punted, Sunray Major. He's a half brother to Kingman. Looked a little bit laboured winning at Chelmsford. 7 furlongs at Ascot was okay, but he wasn't powering away from them in the closing stages. You had Abel Kane, who was up his backside to the furlong marker. He's gone and won a race at Leicester just the other day. Another one for Murphy as far as the championship is concerned. But that's a long, long way short of what's required in here. I mean, Sir Busker ran up 3rd in the Queen Anne. Accidental Agent, we know what he's like on a going day. Magical Morning bombed out incredibly badly when he ran in the Cambridgeshire last time. I put up King Leonardis when he finished 3rd on his return at Newbury recently. He's another Gosden runner. He's got 3 in here. Dettori's obviously going to stick with the half brother to Kingman. I think that's more out of loyalty, owners, everything else. I think King Leonardis is definitely the wrong price, if you like. He's going to be second in, so he's not going to be a big punting proposition or an each way punt, if you like. But it was a massive return at Newbury. He stayed on quite well in the closing stages, suggesting that it put him spot on for this. And I like to have 2 bites of the cherry on a horse who's a little bit bigger at the prices. So we'll get rid of Sunray Major. We'll get that beat stepping up to the mile at Ascot, and the favourite goes down in the lucky last. King Leonardis, and if there was one to get a slice of the pie, Ken's Eye Warrior, who was a cracking individual for Roger Teal as a juvenile. Forget his 3-year-old career. Never really happened for him. He actually pulled up on his return, which is a bit of a worry. Back to form when winning at Kempton last time, underneath Holly Doyle. He's still, for me, got a little bit of wriggle room from a mark of 101. They thought he was better than that. I mean, he was thought to be a Guineas horse. He'd need to be much better than that. And comes in fresh, lightly raced. The 2 horses that I put up, actually, are coming in with a big upside to them going forward. So King Leonardis and Ken's Eye Warrior, he's up around 25s each way.
Yeah, and the 2Ks, numbers 15 and 16, next to each other in the race car, King Leonidas and Ken's Eye Warrior in the big handicap for Jason Lock. It's an absolute stellar day, isn't it? A great day. 4 Group 1s to look forward to. What will be your idea, the best bet on the card? I've got a couple of short ones. Are you sticking with a Dayar?
Yeah, I've definitely got to stick with a Dayar. I think there's going to be an upset in the first. I really do. I think that Hamish is going to be overlooked. Just because the way I see the race panning out. Dettori can put Stradivarius where he wants. I just think he's on the way, and I've been a massive fan of his for such a long time. I just think he's going that way. Trusham's coming forward, but wherever Holly lands, she's got to sit and wait. Marquand will have them both in his sights, and when the taps are turned on, I think he'll be too quick. Hamish in the opener.
Hamish goes off to a perfect start then on Champions Day. Thanks as always to Jason for joining him. You can join us. You can watch him, of course, on TV on Saturday at Ascot, going through 6 fabulous races. It officially signals the end of the flat season. Hopefully, point in the direction of a few winners. Whatever you're backing this weekend, the best of luck.